people, and welcome to the channel. Oh my gosh, it's been a full week and so much has happened, but today I am so excited to share about today's live because we're talking about something that affects every single one of us, and that's sleep. We all know how amazing it is to wake up feeling rested and refreshed, and how awful it can feel when we don't get that. But did you know that your sleep quality isn't just about how many hours you get? It's also about your body's natural rhythm and your body's unique and natural preferences. So today, I'm excited to welcome back the incredible Dr. Shobha Rayapudi to my show and to talk all about sleep, restfulness, and how to get the best sleep so that your body can rejuvenate, refresh, and heal. Dr. Shobha is a lifestyle medicine physician who specializes in helping people restore health naturally through evidence-based lifestyle changes. And she's going to share with us how you can sleep more deeply or wake feeling more refreshed and actually feel more vibrant and energetic throughout the day, and you don't have to take any pills or do anything crazy. So if you are struggling with poor sleep, tossing and turning throughout the night, or just not feeling your best when you wake up, this live is for you. So hello, Dr. Shobha, and welcome back. I am so thrilled to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for that kind introduction. And I am so excited. So it's always fun to be with you and discuss all these important topics. You do a great job of educating people of all the important lifestyle pillars I call. I know everybody talks about food, nutrition, exercise, but this is one of the pillars that is often missed and also often ignored or not talked about much. So I'm really excited that today we have this wonderful opportunity to talk about sleep. So uh, if I tell you that there is a new pill that scientists have discovered that can reverse your aging, that can prevent dementia, that can improve your memory, that can actually help you live longer, so that can actually help increase your longevity, that can prevent diabetes, that can prevent heart disease, or that can prevent the metabolic syndromes that we see nowadays, that can prevent Alzheimer's disease. Would you like to have that pill?
I would certainly be interested in hearing more about it.
Yes, and guess what? Like nature has provided us that pill, which we call as sleep, which you can take it freely. And so, without paying, without spending a fortune, you get this pill so naturally. But since we get this pill for free, we don't take it seriously.
Mm.
How many of us respect our sleep times? Not many of us do
Yeah.
that.
You
Yeah.
know, it seems like a lot of times, especially when we're younger, or if there's something exciting happening, like a party or something like that, we don't really think about it. I know I didn't when I was younger, and it was one of the last things to think about. Although becoming aware of how important it is, might make people think twice about missing their sleep.
Yes, that's so true. Like we have all been there. Like, yeah, when we want to just when we are binge watching, we're like, let me finish this one more episode before I go to bed. Or when we have something to do like the next morning, like if we have a deadline, we are so stressed, like let me finish. I mean, so we all have been there. So when it comes to sleep. So what is that we can do? And first of all, why are we even talking about sleep? So let's say if you have a factory that runs 24/7. So if
Can you add to
like,
that?
yeah, so I'm just sharing my screen. There we go. Thank you so much. So let's say if you have a factory that runs 24/7, and you ran it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, without adequate downtime, without maintenance and repair. So, how do you think your factory would run?
I mean, without a shift change, it's not going to run for very well because, we get tired.
Right? So, in fact, like, you would expect that the factory will have some problems if you ran it this way, right? So, in order to prevent its breakdown, you will likely schedule regular maintenance, set up regular repairs, and would turn everything off so that it doesn't wear out prematurely. That's what you would do, right? If you're running a factory. So, if this makes sense to you, then you will understand why nature has given you that downtime, why nature has provided you with that schedule, maintenance, and repair time in the form of sleep. So we got only one body. And what would happen if you ran your body 24/7 without sleep or without adequate rest? What do you think would happen?
Things would start breaking down.
Yes, things would start breaking down. So, if you notice, we are biologically wired to need sleep. It's not a luxury, it's actually a neurochemical necessity for emotional stability, rational thought, mental well being. So, how many hours of sleep do you think need per day?
Well, I've heard that you should get a minimum of, say, 7 to 8. But,
Hmm.
I guess it also depends on, yeah, your age, maybe, because I think when
Yes.
I had teenagers, they slept a lot.
Yes, so that is so true. Based on your age, so if you're an adult 18 years and above, so you would need 7 to 9 hours. But let's say if you're infant, an infant almost needs 16 hours of sleep. And if you're less than 2 hours, you need at least 14 hours of sleep. And if you are just 3 to 5 years, or like even like age 10 to 13, before your teenagers, you actually require 10 to 13 hours of sleep. And if you are a teenager, you require at least up till 12 hours of sleep. So that's how important it is. So, and if you're like about, like if you're around 13 to 18 years, you need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And as you're growing older, like what you notice is like the sleep is decreasing. Like you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That's the requirement. So many of us feel that, okay, what happens if I just cut 1 hour? So let's say I have a deadline tomorrow, and if I, okay, maybe I'm going to sleep 1 hour late. So what do you think if you just cut 1 hour consistently? I can understand. So like if it's just here and there, if there are some days where you're not getting full 8 to 9 hours sleep, but if you make it as a habit where you're only getting 7 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep, so what do you think if we just cut 1 hour? Any guesses? Like what do you think if we just cut 1 hour?
Well, if you just cut 1 hour, I think it still counts. And I think uh, you still have to make up for it. But if it's
Mhm.
just once in a while, maybe you wouldn't notice that.
Mhm.
But I did want to ask you a quick question about this
Sure.
slide here.
Uh-huh.
Why is it that different ages need different amounts of sleep? Is it just because we're growing, or is there something else to this?
That's an excellent question, Jennifer. So the thing is, not only as you see, when you're young, you need more sleep. Why? Because the function of the sleep, especially when you're sleeping, growth hormone is released. So one of the things, so as babies, you need, like, your cells need to grow, and also, like, during sleep is when the repair process happens. So especially when you're asleep, especially during the deep sleep, your inner lining of the blood vessels, they are being repaired, like and whatever damage has been done, like, your body tries to repair that. So both on a mental level and also physical level, a lot of repair processes take place. And especially when you're young, like, you need a lot of growth. So that's why what you see is, when you're young, you actually need more hours of sleep.
Oh, that's really interesting. And I just want to take a quick minute and say hello to everybody in the chat. I see Marilyn Dubin is in the chat. Hello. Jill says hello. We have plant powered peddler Janet here, and everyone else. Please know that if you do have a question or a comment, we would love to hear from you. Feel free to go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll make sure that Dr. Shobha addresses it. So, okay, so that's good. We have to clean up when we're little and make sure that things are running smoothly.
Yes. So that was a simple answer, I would say. I know a lot of things get done in sleep, which we'll get to know in a minute. So, like, as I asked, like, what happens if we just cut 1 hour of sleep? So you will be surprised to learn that just 1 hour has big consequences. And this experiment is repeated every year. Every year in our spring, like, when the clock goes back, when people actually lose just 1 hour of sleep, the heart attacks, they spike the next day by 24%.
Wow.
And in fall, when we gain 1 hour, actually heart attacks drop by 21%. So that's how compelling this is. I mean, just this, I would say, a global experiment. So this is the most astonishing illustration of sleep impact on our health, which comes from this global experiment repeated annually during the daylight saving time. So what do you think will happen if you just lose 2 hours?
I mean, based on what you're just saying here, that just with 1 hour, you can have the heart attack spike. So 2 hours, I'm afraid to find out.
Yeah. So when you lose 2 hours, so let's say when you're sleeping 6 hours or less per night, is associated with gaining 10 to 15 pounds per year. Like, you don't have to do anything, like, even though you eat less, or like you're just having your regular meals, just by sleeping 6 hours, you gain 10 to 15 pounds per year. And let's say if you lose 3 hours, any guesses what can happen if you lose 3 hours?
Oh, this is getting worse. So, get any guesses? Anybody have guesses? I hear, oh, Sarah, we have disaster in the chat. We've got yikes in the chat. So I'm not sure that we have exact guesses, but so far, heart attack spikes and weight gain, a lot of people, that's a big deal. We're
Yeah,
always worrying
yeah.
about weight gain, and here we do all these things, and then 2 hours and you kind of sabotage it. What do I want to ask? What happened?
Yes. And this is something you can experiment. So when you lose 3 hours of sleep, and just for 1 week, even I'm not talking for a longer duration of time, when people lose 3 hours of sleep, when they sleep 5 hours or less per night for just 6 nights, you develop pre-diabetes.
Wow.
When you do the blood work before those 5 days and after the 5 days, if you get only 5 hours, your blood test will show you, and you have the markers of pre-diabetes. That's how I know, like, so many of us, we take it for granted. We think, okay, maybe, like, if I just lose 1 or 2 hours, that must be fine. So it's, as we can see, that like sleep has a huge impact on our health. So the main thing is not only the number of hours, but we also need to pay attention about the sleep consistency. So usually what happens in sleep, so there are four stages of sleep. So where you are awake, so let's say when you're sleeping, in between, when you have brief periods in the night in which you're awake, so that phase we call as the awake phase. And there is a phase of light sleep. So this is the transition stage between awake and restorative. So before you go to that restorative stage is where the light sleep is. And then comes our deep sleep. Even among the deep sleep, we have the deep slow wave sleep. And this is where all the physically restorative state happens, where your muscles repair, muscles grow. And as Jennifer, you were asking, like, why do you think babies need more sleep? So it is during this time their muscles grow, their bodies are growing, they need a lot of growth hormone. So all those things are actually happening during those deep slow waves sleep. So while that is happening, the other part of other cycle of the sleep, which we call as rapid eye movement or REM sleep, it's a mentally restorative state where your learning and memories are consolidated. For example, during the days, so much information is thrown at you. So if you have a good night's sleep, what you would notice is the next day you actually remember better. No matter how much information was thrown at you, you are able to consolidate that information and you're able to remember that. Versus when you don't have a good night's sleep, what happens is, even though you're working hard, you're studying hard, what you would notice is you don't have much memory retention and your learning is not that great. So that's why, as teenagers and when you are school going kids, it's important that you sleep. As teenagers, when you get 10 hours of sleep or 12 hours of sleep, what you would notice is you are actually more, when it comes to listening to the classes or imbibing information, you are very productive
Yeah.
when you have a good night's sleep.
So
And
just real.
yes, Jennifer?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, feeling sluggish. That isn't really good either. And we do have. Marilyn said loss of productivity was what she said for the 3 hour loss, and I feel like what you're sharing here lines up with that.
Yes, yeah. So, like what happens is a lot of people think that, okay, maybe I'm working more by staying awake for more number of hours. But what you would notice is you are actually working doubly hard. So you are not that productive. So let's say you only have 4 to 5 hours of sleep and you're trying to work. What you would notice is they have to at least hear the instruction 2 or 3 times. So even if you tell them, they don't remember like what has been said just few minutes ago. So they constantly they try to redo things because they don't remember the instructions, or they are working hard but very inefficient in terms of doing. A person who is well rested can do the job in 1 hour. The same person who lacks sleep takes the same amount of work, takes 3 hours to do the same amount of work. So that's how much the difference is. So as you can see, it's very important that we pay attention to sleep, because it also increases our productivity. We don't want to take for granted that we are sleeping that many number of hours. So we are living in an age where we can measure everything. You're able to measure your exercise, you're able to measure your heart rate. So let's say whether you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you're able to measure how many steps you're able to take, or like if it even like you're able to determine your heart rate variability, and all those things you're able to do. The same thing with sleep. I would highly encourage you guys to measure that. There are a lot of gadgets available. So right now, like Apple, like if you have an Apple Watch, it definitely measures sleep. Or if you have the Aura Ring, like I tried many gadgets. The best one I found is Whoop, WHOOP. What I loved about it, it actually tells you how many hours of restorative sleep you had. And like it spits out information, and this is how it looks. So let me just show you, like when it is measuring the information. So here, so this is from my Whoop watch. So I actually measured this while I was on a vacation in August. And I used to think myself, oh, maybe like I'm like I don't have any sleep problems. Like I sleep well, and most of the nights, like I am getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So, like what this one is on the left hand side, what this is showing is your sleep consistency. So, what it means is, are you going to bed at the same time, and are you waking up at the same time? So, sleep consistency, what it tells you is how similar are your bed and wake times over a 4 day period. And if your sleep consistency is 80%, so that is optimal for health and performance. But if it's moderate, 70 to 8%, it is sufficient for getting by. But if it is low, less than 70%, it can actually disrupt your circadian rhythm. So it's very important that we have consistent sleep wake times, because they regulate your internal clock. They improve your sleep quality, metabolism, and immune function. So as you can see here, so like one night I slept at 10:47, the other day 10:37, the other day 11:51, the other day like I was so tired that I slept at 9, and then 11:32, 11:22, 10:48. So are you able to see, like there is so much, like during, like you will be able to see that like almost I am getting 7 hours of sleep, but even though I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, it's highly inconsistent. And when I started measuring, like it actually opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it literally amazed me. During that time, Whoop was also tracking how fast I was aging. And especially during this uh, week, I was aging 2 times faster than regular. So it was really amazing. So I was literally mind blown to see like my heart rate variability went down, and even like when I was measuring other parameters. So your rate of aging and like everything. So it was really amazing to see. So what Whoop does, it tells you, it gives you 4 parameters. It tells you the hours of sleep needed versus how many hours you're sleeping. So it showed me that I was 100%, like I was getting the required hours of sleep. But when it comes to consistency, like the consistency was low. And sleep efficiency, so sleep efficiency is the number of hours you are in bed versus the number of hours you're asleep while in bed. So that's what is sleep efficiency. And it also measures your sleep stress. So again, on the right hand side, it also tells like what percentage of time you were awake, what percentage of your sleep was light sleep, what percentage of sleep was deep sleep, and REM sleep. So what it showed me is I was having a restorative sleep of 3 hours 37 minutes, like which is quite good. The goal is to increase our restorative sleep. So like as you can see, like we need to pay attention to the number of. So the other cool thing that Whoop does is it also calculates your sleep cycle. Like if you're a woman and if you are menstruating, it also shows in different phases, when you're in your luteal phases or when you're in your follicular phases, how that sleep differs, how your sleep patterns differ. So it was really amazing to see, um, like uh, the sleep actually got better during the luteal phase. So I was able to see the difference, like what your like how different things actually impact your body. So like what I will be doing is, since the goal of today's session is about the chronotypes, I really want to delve into this interesting piece of sleep, rather than trying to talk about how lack of sleep is disruptive. So for that, like, I'm just going to share a document which you can download, and it tells you like how every system is affected by lack of sleep. So, or else, like, even in our YouTube channel there is a free video where you can watch like how sleep impacts, so the impact of sleep loss on various organs, various systems. That's a whole lot of another class which I won't be dwelling today. But let's go to the interesting part of sleep chronotypes, which actually changed my life. So just
Donna, Dr.
yes.
Shobha, before you switch to that, which I'm so excited about, I just want to say a couple comments here. So, Jill Caperton said that explains so much about my job when you were talking about, the thinking process. So that's already been beneficial for people to hear. We have a question, which is, why do I feel like I need as much sleep as an infant? And that is from Todd. And so that is definitely, he is not an infant. And so he always feels very, very tired. And no matter what, it seems like, some people feel like they just can't get enough. So I don't, so that's that question.
Uh-huh. So to answer that question, like a lot of us like feel that yes, I'm so tired. So sometimes we feel that maybe I had enough sleep, but like I'm still feeling tired. So there are like two parts to this question. So do you think that you had enough sleep and the next day you're feeling tired? That's one scenario. Or the other scenario is obviously like you didn't have enough sleep and feeling tired. So those are two different things. But if you're talking about you had enough sleep but still if you're feeling tired, so that question is an entirely different set of questions. So let's say if that's the case, what is happening is, just like you have an external clock, right? So the external clock is telling you, okay, it's 6 o'clock now, it's time for me to get up, or it's 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, it's time for breakfast, or it's 12 o'clock, it's time for lunch. So you're relying on an external clock which is telling you like what time it is to do a specific activity, and you're going by that external clock. Just like you have an external clock, you have an internal clock. So your brain has a clock, your body has a clock, and this internal clock tell you when it's the time to rest, when it's the time to sleep, when it's the time to work, when it's the time to digest, when it's the time to exercise. So if your internal clock and the external clock are not aligned, that's when you feel very, very tired. And for that reason, it's very important to know your chronotype. So technically, all of us, we fall into four different type of chronotypes. We all have different types of internal clocks. Yes, we all do have clocks, but the other thing to identify is not everybody's internal clock is the same. And so that's why people have been categorized into four categories of the internal clock, and that's what we are going to talk about today in our sleep chronotype. So hopefully that answered Todd question. And in terms of like, let's say, even if you're infant, as you can see, don't you think a lot of things are developing for that infant? Like in terms of their circulatory system, their respiratory system, their muscular system, like there is so much going on. There are so much processes going on. and there is so much buildup. It's happening. So sleep is the time when your body is able to do that job. So that's why what you see is when you're young, you're actually needing more sleep.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so let's come to our chronotypes. As I said, it's important that we know our chronotypes. Okay, so as I was telling you, like inside our brain, or inside your brain and body, there are dozens of clocks that control every organ and system. So they will tell you when it's the time to sleep, when it's the time to eat, when it's the time to think, when it's the time to move, when it's the time to rest, and when it's the time to digest. And not all clocks, not all biological clocks run on the same time. So we are born to be one of the four chronotypes. So to know your chronotype, so either like you can go to this bit.ly link which says unlock deep sleep, or if you have your phone, you could just scan this QR code and it will take you. So this document, as I mentioned, it will tell you all the effects of sleep on different parts of the body, and it will also let you take the quiz to know that which of the chronotype that you are. So, and it's very essential to know like what's your chronotype. So these are the four types of chronotypes: lions, who are early risers; bears, who are in between; and wolves, there are night people; and dolphins, mostly they experience insomnia. So right now, I know since you haven't taken the quiz, like what I'll do is I'll describe the characteristics of each chronotype, and you can see for yourself uh, if that is describing you. So I will start with dolphin. And it's so important for us to identify the chronotype. So what you would notice is dolphin are unihemispheric sleepers. What I mean by that is their half of the brain is awake, whereas half of the brain is asleep. Just like dolphins in nature, what they do is they don't sleep completely because half of the brain is actually active to protect themselves from predators. Even while they're in the water, even though they seem that they are resting, half of the brain is awake. So just like dolphins, so people with this chronotype, what they find is they are unihemispheric sleepers. The other thing, what they would find is they are prone to insomnia. They will feel that it's very hard for them to get to bed, and they will have erratic sleep schedule. They will find that they're incapable of sleeping 7 to 8 hours straight, and they are a little bit neurotic and risk averse. So they are, I mean, they worry constantly, and they do not overindulge in food. Their BMI is lower than average. Their BMI is lower than average not because they exercise more, but because they are constant, because of the constant fidgety nature or a little bit of neurotic. What they find is since they're fidgeting a lot, their BMI is actually lower than average. And what you will find is dolphins, they're actually conflict adverse. So they are very kind, caring, they are unguarded in relationships, and they try to avoid conflict. So ultimately what happens is they leave the small things until it becomes a big thing, because they don't like to be in that conflict situation. And as I said, they're very caring, dedicated, attentive parents and partners, and they are highly intelligent. They hit their logistical thinking peak in the evening, and they are very creative mid morning. Actually, people who are dolphins, They are so creative and they're very particular. If you give them any project, they pay attention to every detail, and they are not satisfied until like everything is perfect, and they are too wound up at night to slow down. That is the characteristic of dolphins. So if you are feeling that you are experiencing insomnia, like no matter what you're doing, like even though you have tried everything for better sleep, like tried all the measures, so make sure you take this quiz and see for yourself, like whether you have a dolphin chronotype. And if you're a dolphin chronotype and if you want to experience high energy, so the thing to note down is your sleep time. The tuck-in time is 12 a.m. That's the time you want to sleep. And when to rise and shine, 7 a.m. So this is how your internal clock is set. And when you align with your internal clock, what you find is your energy actually goes up. And especially for dolphins, naps is counterproductive. So because if you are taking naps, what you would notice is you have trouble sleeping during the night, and the sleep pressure is decreased, and there is increased sleep pressure. So that's why it's better, especially if you're a dolphin, it's better to avoid naps. And when it comes to exercise, to jolt yourself awake, morning 7:30 a.m. is the best time for you to exercise. And if you want to deepen your sleep, so training at 5 p.m. or doing restorative yoga at 10 p.m. is it really helps you down to calm down and get deep sleep. So the downtime is 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. When I'm saying the downtime, this is the time where you actually don't want to socialize with people. This is the time that you want to have for yourself. This is the lone time for yourself. So from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And after 2 p.m., like dolphins find that they are very social. Like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the time to get social. So that is the time if you want to attend happy hours or attend events or invite people, that is the time to get social. And when it comes to eating window, you won't feel hungry in the morning until 10 a.m. So your eating window opens at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you want to finish your dinner by 6 p.m. and you don't want to eat anything after that. And you can breakfast you can start at 10 a.m. And especially dolphins, what you would notice is 6 continuous hour is enough rest and restoration. So yes, by nature you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but especially for dolphins, if they are getting 6 continuous hours. So when I say 6 continuous hours, it's not that you're waking up and then falling asleep, taking a nap and then falling asleep. So getting 6 continuous hours gives enough rest and rejuvenation for dolphins. And as I said, naps is counterproductive for dolphins because they have to build up enough sleep pressure. So that's why, as far as possible, make sure you avoid the naps. And the other thing is make sure you're getting up and moving every few hours. Especially for dolphin, what happens is, let's say if you are waking up tired, so let's say you are having insomnia, that insomnia leads to exhaustion. So with exhaustion, you don't feel like moving enough, and not moving enough actually creates insomnia, and again insomnia creates exhaustion. So it's a vicious circle that you fall into. So that's why it's very important, like as soon as you wake up in the morning, like you can jolt yourself up with exercise, so move more. So that's the key, like especially for dolphins, when they wake up. So that's why this are the timings. So you can also take a picture of this slide, like if you, like later when you find out that if you're a dolphin, this is the time, like this is how your inner circadian rhythm is set up. So when you align yourself with this, you will be amazed to see that like you're having better sleep and your energy levels are improving. The next type of chronotype is bears. So just like bears in nature, people with bear chronotype, they are diurnal. When I say diurnal, is they, yes, so they are awake during daytime and they're asleep during nighttime. And especially for bear, waking up is a long process. So for example, like even if you get up 7 o'clock in the morning, like you don't feel like getting out of the bed, so like you want to toss and turn and like lie few more hours in the bed, like you want to spend some more time in the bed. And like my chronotype is bear, and when I learned about this, like I was literally amazed, and this made sense. So even though you are awake in the morning, you literally don't feel like getting off the bed. And bears, when I say they can hibernate, is like if you let them sleep, they will be so happy to sleep. And especially when it's during winter, they'll be so happy to do nothing, rest, relax, especially during the winter time. And during the summertime, like they're happy, happy to do activity. If you're a bear, what you would notice is you're alert by mid-morning. By 10:30, 11 o'clock is when you're sharp, your brain start to function. And again, what you would notice is your energy plummets mid-afternoon. Again, by 2 p.m., like your energy goes down, and it again rises early evening. Again, 5 o'clock, what you would notice is again your energy is up and you love food and gladly snack all day and night. If you they love grazing all day, like if they're left. And they are weekend warrior exercises, so that's why, like especially for bears, so they have sore muscles because weekend they're like exercising hard enough, and weekdays not exercising. And for bears, they are also Sunday afternoon nappers. And they are friendly people. They love mixing with people, extroverts. They're happiest when surrounded by people. And when it comes to relationship, they're even keel. They avoid conflict, and their moods reflect their circumstances. They are good team players. They think and work best in groups. And when it comes to, if you're a bear and if you want to hold meetings and any brainstorming session, do it before the lunch time. So that's the time for you to shine. And after lunch, what you would notice, you're not as sharp. So especially if you're a bear, this is the routine you want to have. Like you want to go to bed by 11 p.m. You want to get up, rise and shine by 7 a.m. And naps for bears, for dolphins, it was counterproductive. But if you're a bear, yes, 20 minutes or less time for naps actually energizes you. During afternoon, that 2 p.m., when you are feeling that energy drain, if you take nap for 20 minutes, for the rest of the day your productivity really increases. So again, naps are not for all chronotypes. So if you're a bear, the good news is yes, you can nap. And again, when I say nap, only 20 minutes, not more than half an hour. And exercise, so especially for bears, what they would notice is they are active before lunch and dinner time, and that might be a good time for you to exercise. And downtime 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. From morning 7 to 11 a.m., you don't want to schedule any important meetings, so that's the time where you can actually work. You can put on your thinking hat, you can be creative. That is the time you can have your lone time. And when it comes to social, like after 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. is your socializing time. An eating window like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So like breakfast, uh, like you can start anywhere 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and by 6 p.m. you want to finish your eating. So that's for the bear. So this is the internal clock, how it is set for bears. But if you are a lion, so lion again, they wake up early. They wake up like during dawn. They're pre-dawn risers. They wake up hungry. They burst with radiant energy until 3 p.m. So as soon as they get up, they feel so hungry. They want their breakfast, and they are so disciplined. So like when they get up, like what you would notice is while others are sleeping, while others get up, by the time they have showered, they have exercised, they have done some productive work, so they are ready to go, like in the morning. And what they notice is there is rapid decline in energy by 5 p.m. So by evening time they feel exhausted, and ideally they want to be in bed by 9 p.m. They literally have to psych themselves up to go to parties and social events. So let's say if the parties are starting 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., 7 p.m., that's they want to avoid that late night parties. They prioritize their health. So they are very, as I said, they're very disciplined. They exercise. They look, they watch what they're eating. They are very competitive. They exercise regularly and competitively. They avoid drugs and alcohol. They eat well. They have the lowest BMI of all chronotypes. They are optimistic. They're ambitious and emotionally stable. They're fearless, confident, and very driven. And they miss certain emotional cues in others. So they when it comes to relationships, they love to fix things, broken or otherwise, which can actually cause tension in relationships. They are born leaders. They are introverts. They feel lonely at the top. They are goal oriented agenda setters and list makers. They pounce on problems. They find solutions. They have total clarity in the early morning. And as soon as they reach a goal, they look forward to the next. And if they adopt a restorative practice, stretching or meditation, they will have more energy for achievement, especially during the evening time, when they do this, they find that it's very easy for them. So this actually, okay, what happened? Okay, so what you would know, this actually opened my eyes, because what I found was my husband, he was a lion. He is a lion by his chronotype, and I'm a bear, and our timings never used to match. So like he's an early morning, like he would wake up like he's ready to go, and he's like, okay, let's go for a walk. And I'm like 6 a.m., please leave me alone. Like I'm not ready to come for a walk. I'm like, please leave me alone. You don't do things like I love to do things together, and you're not doing. And then let's have breakfast. And I'm like, please leave me alone. I don't want to have breakfast at 7 a.m. I don't want to have breakfast at 8. And then when he comes home from work, and I'm like 5 p.m., let's go for a walk. Let's do this. Let's exercise. And he's like, please leave me alone. He's like, let me, I just want to relax, maybe sit in the couch, watch TV. And so like our eating times don't match, our exercise times don't match, our waking up times don't match, and like we really struggled a lot. And like he would wake up in the morning, you're such a lazy bum, like you're not productive, and he used to, and that used to hurt me. I was like, oh, like why does he think that like I'm lazy, or like I don't want to wake up. And just to please him, there were times when I used to wake up early and give him company. But what I found was I was literally dragging myself. Like I had no energy. And especially when it was time to be energetic, like I was literally drained. So when I took this quiz, it literally opened my eyes and made me realize yes, we do have different chronotypes, and respecting that different chronotypes is very essential. So then I was like, okay, like evenings, you don't want to do anything. So then I realized, then I tried to find a common time. So especially like afternoon, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So before 5 p.m., then I used to make sure that we are scheduling a walk or doing things together. So in that way, where even he's active. So before 5 p.m., before his energy goes down, and even during that time I'm active, so I take the lead to to do the activity, whereas in the morning he takes the lead. So in the morning, like I'm not in a mood to exercise, so then like at 7 a.m. then he encourages me to get up and do the exercise. So finding that, so make sure, like, the reason I'm talking about this chronotype is not to judge yourself or to judge your partner, but to know the internal rhythms, internal clocks, so that you can help each other. And if both the partners have same chronotype, well and good, but sometimes nature doesn't allow, as they say, opposites attract. What you will find is maybe your partner has the opposite chronotype. So that's why it's very important that you take this quiz and learn for yourself, like what chronotype you fall into. And the especially so yeah, so he's a lion and I'm a bear. And when it comes to wolves and dolphins, it's also very important to realize that rather than trying to judge a person, rather than trying, that person doesn't have the willpower, that person doesn't have the self-discipline, because when it comes to wolf, they become active when the whole world sleeps. So they are active during nighttime, and during daytime they have the brain fog. I mean, like, even though their bodies are awake, their brain is asleep. No matter how hard they try, they cannot do much because their brain is literally sleeping. So like, let's cover the wolf chronotype as well. So like, as so this is the lion. And when it comes to uh, the other chronotype. So, oh, by the way, let me tell the timings for lions. So, the best time for lion to go to bed is 10 p.m. Especially lions, you don't want to be awake during the night. Even if you're awake until 11 p.m., what you would notice is you're literally tired, and you wake up by 4 o'clock, 5 a.m., and you don't feel well rested. So, by 9 o'clock, just get ready for bed. So by 10 p.m., you want to be sleeping. And when to rise and shine? 6 a.m. So by, even though, especially for lions, even though they want to sleep for more, what they would notice is by 5 p.m., even though they don't want, they are awake, they are sharp and awake, and they get up even though they slept at 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. So that's why it's very important for lions to tuck in by 10 p.m. and exercise like 5 a.m. And in the evening time, like 5 to 6 p.m., because your energy is plummeting. So when you do some meditative practices or restorative yoga techniques, so that's a good time to do yoga practices during evening 5 p.m. And downtime 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that's not your social time. That's not where you want to have parties, events. So that's your downtime or lone time. And social is 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yes, this sounds odd, but that is the time, like lions, they shine. And maybe that is the time you want to interact with people. An eating window is between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you want to have your breakfast by 7 a.m. and you want to sleep by 7 p.m. And especially it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for slow lions. There are even categories within the chronotypes, which I won't go into because, again, that is another session in itself. So the next category is the wolf. So, wolf, they come alive when the rest of the world goes to sleep. They're most alert at sundown and don't feel tired at midnight or later. Their mornings usually pass by a fog. Their bodies are up and moving, but their brains are still half asleep. Most wolves aren't hungry at breakfast and will drink copious amount of coffee to clear that brain fog, though it doesn't work. And the brain doesn't kick in until the end of work day. By afternoon, they are so ravenous and will make up for that missed meal or two by eating a huge dinner and snacking late into night. So for wolf, when it comes to exercise, they would rather drink wine, eat cheese, and debate philosophy until 2 a.m. They have the highest BMI of all chronotypes and are more prone to obesity, diabetes, and high cholesterol. They are impulsive and creative. Their moodiness and pessimism, especially in the morning, can be challenging for their partners and families. But if there is an issue, they won't shy away from it. They aren't afraid to talk things out until the problem is fixed. They are most alert at sundown and don't feel tired. So, especially when it comes to wolf, they are happiest when they're trying new things and indulging everything life has to offer. Although they love to party, they need lone time too. They're only able to concentrate effectively after 2 p.m. So, especially if you're a wolf and at your workplace, what you would notice is after 2 p.m. is when you're fully alive, and that's the time you want to work. Since they don't feel fully alive unless they're experiencing a high degree of intensity, so they exhaust their energy very quickly and they need to incorporate a restorative practice, but they need convincing. If you ask a wolf to do any restorative practice, you can hear the wolf saying, meditation is just so boring. I don't want to do it. But, like, especially for wolf, if you want to increase your energy levels and not drag yourself, like, it's uh, it's better for you to do this. Let me go over their internal clock rhythm as well so that you understand. Okay, so especially for wolves, when it comes to what is the time you want to sleep? It's 12:30 a.m. So after past midnight, that's the time you want to go to bed. And when to rise and shine? 8 a.m. So by 8 a.m., like, you want to force yourself to get out of the bed, even though you are feeling foggy, you don't want to get up. You just want to get up and get that sunlight. Just go or stick your head outside the window to get that sunshine. Naps, no. And when it comes to exercise, especially for wolves, you want to do level up movements like jumping jacks, like at 10 a.m., so that, like, you can jolt yourself to wake up and to deepen your sleep. So the best exercise timing for you is 7 p.m. And restorative yoga at 12 p.m., like, where you can do those restorative yoga poses and calm yourself down to go to bed. And downtime is 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's the time you don't want to socialize, you don't want to mingle, you don't want to have meetings. That's your downtime. And social, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. They come alive and they are so active. And the eating window is, you want to start at 10:45 a.m. to 8:15 p.m. and power down hour. By 11:10 p.m., you want to power down all of that. And as I said, go get some sunshine at 8 a.m., force yourself to get out of bed. And I just want to close this presentation. As I was saying, like scientists have discovered a revolutionary new treatment that makes you live longer, enhances your memory, makes you more creative, makes you look more attractive, keeps you slim, lowers food cravings, protects you from cancer and dementia, wards off cold and flu, lowers your risk of heart attacks and stroke, not to mention diabetes. You will even feel happier, less depressed, and less anxious. So, if you're interested in this pill, what do you think your answer is?
Yes,
Sleep.
get sleep, get
Yeah.
sleep. Wow, that was really wonderful. I'll just read a few comments. So I just want to make sure that the app was called Whoop. Uh,
Yes.
and it's so you can get that as an app. Marilyn says, when I go to sleep 1 hour earlier than normal, I feel much better the next day. Yes. And then Jill Caperton says, I'm a dolphin and a bear. So there you go.
Yeah. So the thing is, definitely take the quiz, and also for Marilyn, take the quiz so that you would know. Like as you were saying, maybe if I sleep 1 hour earlier, like I feel rested. And sometimes I know, like when we are listening to this chronotypes, we might feel, oh, maybe I'm a dolphin, I'm also a bear. But take your quiz and you will know. And also, what you would notice is as you age, your circadian rhythm shifts. So don't be surprised, like few years back when you took the quiz, like you were a certain chronotype, and few years later you discovered that you are a different chronotype, because sometimes when your circadian rhythm is shifting, especially as you age, what you would notice is you try to fall asleep faster. So compared to when you were in 20s and 30s, so let's say when you are in 50s or 70s, what you would notice is evening time, you want to go to bed early and you're waking up early by 4 or 5. So those are certain things that you would notice with age difference as well.
Very good. So, just to share with everyone, I went ahead and took my phone, and when you had the QR code up there, and so if you put your phone on the camera and you put it on the screen, it should prompt you to open it. And when I open it, then I can see where it takes me here. And you see a beautiful picture of Dr. Shobha, and you can fill that information out and download your ebook. I'm very excited to do that myself. And so, I would like to ask just a couple questions. Well, I do want to say that was so interesting. And when you were talking about the difference between yours and your husband's types, chromotypes, I originally was thinking, oh no, they're not a good match. But you know what? Then you were saying how you used it to find that common ground. And then I'm like, well, yes, of course. So it's true, like if you and your spouse or whoever it is that's special in your life, you know, want to do this and you find that you're not a match, it was a great example to have you share how that doesn't mean you're not a match.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, I wanted to point that out. And, depending on where you were, you talked about meals. In general, I was wondering, in general, even no matter which one you are, does the last meal time affect your sleep? So
Yes.
if you eat
Yeah.
it too close to whenever your bedtime is, does it
Yeah.
matter?
It does matter. So, like if you notice with different chronotypes, they have different sleep times when they need to wind down to bed. Based on that is how their meal time has been scheduled too. So, you want to eat at least 3 to 4 hours before your bedtime, because by that time, like you want your body to digest the food. So especially even for wolves, like even though they're sleeping at 12:30, you want to finish your dinner by 8, latest by 8:30. You don't want to go over that, or you don't want to keep snacking, because what would happen is if you're still eating, that affects your sleep. So if you want to have high energy, and if you want to fit your chronotype rhythm, where when you follow this meal times and also exercise, what I found is I used to be surprised. Like, it's not that I don't love exercise, but there were certain times during which I used to feel more energetic to exercise. And learning about my chronotype, that actually helped me, because 11 a.m. I would feel like exercising, but like, let's say when I'm deep in work, like it might not be possible for me to exercise. But recognizing the fact that, okay, and again, what I would notice is right before supper time, so either like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., again, I'm energetic to exercise. So what I found is, okay, maybe evening time, if I schedule my strength training during that time, well, so that time I'm not dragging. So versus when I want to do strength training in the morning, I have to literally drag myself. So this timings, what they help you to do, they help you to let you know, like, when your energy, because your energy goes up and down, and this times indicate what is your rhythm to do that particular activity.
Yeah, it reminds me of like glucose, our glucose goes up and down and our energy goes up and down, and we're very fluid throughout. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
really interesting. So I liked that you pointed that out. It's important to wait 3 to 4 hours of
Mhm.
time from the last meal until you go to bed, whenever your window of time for sleep is.
Yes.
Not every, and you're proving not everybody is the same. So,
Mhm.
you hear people say, oh, go to bed by 8:30 or 9
Yeah.
or whatever. So then,
Mhm.
and if you try it and it doesn't work, maybe that's not, where you are. Then now you can try something else. We do.
Yeah, and thanks for pointing that out, Jennifer. And this is a very important. No matter what you're getting out of this presentation today, I definitely want you to get this fact that not everybody has to follow the same sleep time, and make sure that you know your chronotype. Like, if you have missed taking the screenshot of this, so here's the link, like, or if you just type in bit.ly unlock deep sleep, that will let you uh, like, open the document. And this and I will just give you a quick peek about this document, so that you guys know, like, what you're actually receiving. So quickly, Jennifer, I'll share so that it just
Yeah,
uh,
that's okay. That's okay. I do have, Jill said, I'm on my phone, so I can't scan the QR code. Is there a website that I can go to for the chronotype quiz, which you just mentioned, an ebook, but
it's
we
Bitly,
want to make
yeah.
sure we
So,
put it
like,
in
if you're not able to scan, just type in Bitly unlock deep sleep. So that's what you would do.
Bitly
And
unlock deep
yeah,
sleep.
and what you would notice is you will get this beautiful uh, uh, this thing. So let me just okay. So
There we
hopefully.
go.
Uh, yeah, so there we go. So yeah, so that's what. And I know, like, I'm sharing my screen, but I know, like, it's not visible to others. So you will get, like, a lot of resources, scientific research, and like how it affects all different types of systems. It has the references, and also at the last page, it's
Let me
where
see.
you
Oh,
get.
there, we just got it on. If you want to scroll back for a
Sure,
minute.
sure.
Oh, here
So
we
in
go.
this, yeah, so in this, oopsie. Um, okay, so in this document, like, you will be able to how it affects different systems, how it affects your hormones, how it affects your cravings, how it affects your metabolic health, how it causes weight gain, how it affects your cardiovascular system, how it affects your memory. It also talks about the sleep quantity and quality, brain atrophy, sleep fragmentation, and it also gives you tips. And here's the sleep chronotype. Even in this document, when you click here, you are able to take the quiz, and all the scientific resources are cited here. So technically, this is the document you're getting when you scan the QR code or just use the bit.ly link to go that. And this is for free, like you can enjoy this ebook. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. That is a wealth of information. I really appreciated everything that you shared, and having a place where we can all go and kind of figure out which one we are is really truly a gift. I appreciate that. And so, I just want to mention, our bodies are so smart. Like, our
Mhm.
bodies are so amazing. As you're sharing with me, how the system goes and the time, and figuring out everything about us as individuals, it's amazing what the body can do. And I love that you shared how much sleep, the importance of sleep, and the different ages, and like all of this stuff, it all comes in to really better us and help us to have great health. So I just wanted to point that out. And so just to say, if people want to find you, let's see, we're going to put it on the screen, but where can they go to find you?
So one is we have a website, Gift of Health. So under that, there is a contact form which you can contact us, or the easy way, like you can email us at giftofhealth1@gmail.com. That's an easy way. And also with Facebook, like the links which are posted here, so you can use the messenger to message us. So the either you can contact us through the social media or our website or email. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Shobha. It's always a great pleasure to have you on my channel, sharing so much meaningful and informative information. I am truly grateful. And so please come back again anytime. We're always eager to be learning from you.
Yes, yes. Oh, I would be happy. Yeah, I would be happy to come and share, because as you can see, there is so much,
Oh
right?
my God.
There is so much to talk about. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We hope you took away new information, or were reminded of some things to try that maybe you forgot about. I learned a lot today. And so I just want to say, don't forget to eat your greens, and please give plants a chance. It won't disappoint, I promise. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye bye.